Oi, amiga. Oi, Yasmin. Você entrou sem áudio. Oi, amiga. Tudo bem? Oi, Yasmin.
Tudo bem? Tá me escutando?
Eu acho que eu me unmute agora, né?
Tá.
Tá.
A gente já tá live aqui nas redes, mas a gente ainda vai esperar um pouquinho que a peça ainda tá rolando. Eu só queria dar boas-vindas.
Boas.
Que dia intenso, hein?
Nossa senhora, menina, eu tô só o pó. Vou esfarelar daqui a pouco no chão aqui.
Foma um antes de dormir, tio.
Não,
Pelo
dá
menos.
não.
Não, antes de dormir, não é agora.
Não, amiga, dá não. Vou só dormir, tá doido.
Vixe.
Ó, o dia tá chegando.
Gente, eu entrei tão rápido que eu fiquei até orgulhosa de mim.
Olha aí você, cheio da
Nem consegui,
tecnologia.
nem precisei mudar a senha nem nada.
Olha aí. Deixa eu ver aqui onde é que tá na peça. Quanto tempo tem ainda?
E
Já estava na última cena.
Funny cute coisinha?
Põe aqui o de coisinha. Um amigo meu mandou mensagem aqui, falando que me achou lá em cima.
Manequim de coisinha já tá descendo a escada.
Oh.
O pessoal tá
Só nós?
acompanhando aí pelo Instagram e pelo Facebook, pelo YouTube. A gente tá esperando a peça terminar. Daqui a pouco a gente começa o bate-papo.
Ah, nós já estamos ao vivo.
Já estamos, menina.
É, já, é isso aí, ó.
Tá
Ó,
valendo. Hoje tá valendo o dia inteiro.
pois então é isso. Vim de Sveglia.
E eu vim de pipoca.
Ô, gente,
Não tô vendo vocês.
eu até já preparei meu negócio para comer. Meu...
Cadê Balardine?
Agora estou vendo vocês. Ah, que lindo.
E por que a gente não tá vendo você?
É.
Porque minha câmera tá desligada só por isso.
Só
Cadê?
tô vendo uma logo.
É, pois
Ah,
é,
é,
esse
tá
logo,
desligado.
né? Fizeram esse logo pra companhia, menina. Agora eu fico arrumando motivo pra usar ele. Essa menina maravilhosa. Pronto. Ih, não, ó, tô escondido.
Eu vou
Eu também coloquei
transformar
uma
minha
foto
cara
aqui
no
do.
logo. Eu vou pedir para Yasmin fazer minha cara um logo, por favor.
Faz o design aí, Yasmin, aqui, ó. Resolve
E
aqui.
é muito lindo.
Nossa, já
Gosto,
pensei.
gente.
Ibsen, você tá aí no Instagram, meu filho? Venha pro Zoom com a gente.
Manda o link no WhatsApp.
Vou mandar uma mensagem pra
Manda,
Paty.
manda uma mensagem no grupo, dizendo pro
Acho que
pessoal que
ele
a
não tá no
discoteca vai
grupo.
começar.
Acho
Ah,
que
o
ele
Tudo
não
Ibsen
tem
bom com
tá,
todo
WhatsApp.
mas a
mundo?
Paty, esse menino, esse
Gonçalo
português tá.
não responde mensagem. Tá escutando,
É,
Gonçalo? Tô falando de você.
não, mas eu acho que ele responde o que ele quer. Ele tá ali só de tipo assim, entendeu? Tô aqui, qualquer coisa eu como.
Boa, Giovana. Obrigada.
A Paty vem, sim, porque ela falou, ela até postou no Instagram, então ela tá vindo.
Ela tá vindo, é ótimo. Deve estar ali na cozinha tomando uma
Gente,
água.
Tomando uma.
alguém pode mandar um text message pro Ibsen? Ele
Tá
não
que eu tenho.
Ah, eu posso mandar aqui.
É, você manda para não ficar três mandando, aí ele vai ficar nervoso, vai dizer, não vou.
Imagina, o menino vai rir. Imagina.
Ah, eu só tenho o WhatsApp dele, mas vou
Não, mas
mandar.
ele não tem WhatsApp, é
Ele
isso?
não tem
Tenho o e-mail
WhatsApp.
dele. O
Ah,
e-mail.
tá. Tá, peraí. Então eu
Ah,
tenho.
vou mandar.
Então,
Fábio, tô adorando que você tá de esvegra de batonzão vermelho. Eu também tô no batom vermelho o dia inteiro.
gente, eu sinto uma falta de usar batom. Agora com essa coisa de máscara, que hoje em dia eu acordo e boto batom em casa. Entendeu? Aí tiro na hora de sair. Agora é isso. Outro dia eu botei com as crianças, eles ficaram assim, tipo assim, why are you wearing lipstick? Não é de sua conta.
Almeida, querida, não tá aparecendo nossa imagem porque oficialmente não começou ainda. Tô esperando da hora. Vai dar, daqui um minuto a gente entra aí. A gente só espera o povo acabar de ver a peça.
E Mônica?
Tá amamentando.
Tá.
Amamentando.
A Maria Chante está louca aqui já, né, gente?
Hoje eu tava assistindo uma parte do streaming e tava a Shanti pulando atrás.
Ah, que engraçado. É isso, né? Igual o gato
Maravilhosa.
passando, Millie passando no meio da minha cena de
Gente,
Svegli.
é muito
A Milha é o melhor personagem.
Millie no dia da filmagem dá as caras, né? Eu acho assim.
Ela sumia e
É o gato de Poderoso Chefão.
Foi até mencionado na revisão que a gente ganhou.
É verdade.
Coisa mais fofa.
Vou mandar para vocês, que hoje o evento tá em um monte de jornal aí, Sal na Veja.
Ah, que
que
ótimo.
delícia.
Vamos lá, me manda, porque eu tenho que fazer.
mandar pro pessoal lá da Bahia, né?
Mandar para os officers. Não, mandar para os officers. Mas depois eu pesquiso.
Teve muito bate-papo legal hoje, hein? Foi bem legal acompanhar.
Ah,
Nossa,
deve ter sido interessantíssimo.
Pessoal
emocionado.
fera, né?
Várias coisas, né? Pessoas que conheciam Clarice, a sobrinha neta da Clarice e tal.
Nossa.
Nossa, aquilo foi muito legal, eu vi aqui.
Ela foi incrível, assim, nossa, a biógrafa foi muito gostoso, né? Esse papo também.
Nossa, adorei a
Nossa,
Nádia
todos
falando.
os papos, dava vontade de continuar, assim. Falo, não, a gente emenda um no outro, mistura todo mundo junto, vamos conversar, todo mundo junto.
Eu adorei
Desde
o papo
o tradutor.
da tradução também. O
Desde
tradutor.
o
Foi
tradutor
muito
falar
legal.
sobre tradução, o jeito que a Clarice escreve, traduzir para o inglês ou traduzir para qualquer outra língua, o tanto que você perde,
Nossa.
o tanto que você tem que reconstruir, né? Foi muito legal.
Você tem que ser quase um poeta, né? Porque, tipo assim, não dá para simplesmente traduzir que nem peça de Lego, entendeu? Bota esse verbo aqui e fala, bota qualquer coisa. Você tem que. Pior quando você. Uma vez eu fui traduzir um poema daquela Sylvia Plath, não entendi porra nenhuma. Eu mesmo traduzi, eu falei assim, não entendi nada. Não tenho a menor ideia do que essa mulher quer dizer. É louca. Ou seja, não posso ler poema em inglês, assim, fica claro. Eu tenho que
Fica
ler em
claro.
português.
Você pode ler, mas
Não. Mas eu lendo em inglês, eu falei, gente, o que é que essa louca? Pior que a bichinha se suicidou, né? Então, assim, não posso nem falar assim alto. Mas enfim. Ai, meu Deus.
você com esse botãozinho mágico aí.
Pronto, agora a gente tá todo mundo spotlight, quem falar vai aparecer lá no
Ó,
Instagram. Ah, peraí que eu tenho que consertar um negócio aqui. Gente, é muita tecnologia, eu aprendi tanta coisa nova nessa pandemia,
Nossa,
pra falar a verdade. Cresceu minha lista de software.
Hoje o Rodrigo ficou perguntando, né? Que trabalha também com isso, ficou perguntando o dia inteiro como a Andressa tá fazendo isso.
Ó, fala pra ele que eu mandei a mensagem pra ele, né? Porque eu quebrei a cabeça também, né, amiga? Não é fácil, não.
Nossa, imagina.
Não, e fazendo streaming em tantas plataformas,
Já tá
tudo ao
tarde, não
mesmo
pode
tempo.
falar bobagem. Eu falei que era uma suruba de software. Que um manda pro outro entra aqui, outro enfia ali, entendeu?
é um gato, na verdade é um gato, né, gente? É um gato.
É um gato.
É
maybe a
praticamente
gente
um
vai
gato.
falar alguma coisa aí dentro do Gather para as pessoas irem no bar.
Ai, vamos, já terminou?
Já.
Eu tô aqui mexendo no OBS, baby. Me ajuda aí. Vai lá no
Beleza,
Guerra.
claro.
Deb, se você fizer um spotlight em você, acho que você consegue fazer no Guerra. Todo mundo te escuta. Se você abrir o microfone. Ai, por que não tá aparecendo aqui?
Hello, everybody. Olá, pessoal. Hello, everybody. Follow me to the bar.
Falando mal do que eles usam aqui, porque a gente usa brigadeiro para botar em cima dos bolos. E eles usam aqui o negócio que eu não gosto.
Alguém muta a Fabiana.
Alguém botar a Fabiana.
É quem tem o poder aí, muta a Fabiana.
Talk with our cast. Acompanhar a gente ali no bar, vocês vão poder conversar com o cast. É só me acompanhar, tem um linkzinho ali do Zoom, a gente entra direto.
Avisa que tem o negócio de apertar o X. Tem a Caixana e tem o Gavin que fala
Você tá me escutando aí?
pelo Zoom. Ai, gente, o Instagram tá travando de novo.
Manda o povo ir pro YouTube. YouTube tá super rolando.
É, o YouTube tá melhor, né?
Não deu problema nenhuma hora durante o dia.
Carolina, você está entrando. Dia, eu tô tentando te colocar de co-host, porque você é uma pessoa espertinha das tecnologias.
Ixi, que responsa.
É só porque aí você tem poderes, você pode também. Ai, gente, cliquei aqui, talvez eu tenha clicado errado.
Tô aqui com a minha pipoquinha.
Arrasou. É bom que a Yasmin tá aqui, tá no Instagram também. Tá muda, amor.
Eu tô com medo de ficar dando interferência, por isso que eu deixei no mute aqui pra ver se. Mas não vou entrar no Instagram, não, senão vai ficar dando eco, né?
Tá. Delay, né? Que o Instagram tem tipo uns quase 3 segundos de delay.
Mas hoje eu vi tudo no YouTube perfeito, assim. No Instagram realmente dava umas travadas, mas no
Não,
YouTube tava perfeito.
Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. I never met Greta. But that's the thing. Whenever Allegra, there was this one time. Oh no, yeah, I think it was Megan. Because Allegra will say shit about their ex, and I don't know if it's Megan or not.
Fábio, a gente tá te colocando no mudo que a gente tá escutando toda a conversa do Meet aí. Tá mudo, amiga.
E da Zamera, boba.
Andressa, o pessoal não tá conseguindo entrar, principalmente a Dani tá empacada lá.
Mas falou pra apertar o X, baby?
Apertei, falei. Uhum.
Ai, gente, então manda o link.
A Clarissa conseguiu entrar aí, né?
Conseguiu. Oi, Clarissa.
Oi, adorei, adorei.
Você arrasou no painel. Foi ótimo.
Ah, eu ia perguntar para vocês se vocês gostaram.
Putz, muito. Foi
Feedback.
Hello, Kashana.
Can you turn on the light for me?
no Instagram eu vou tentar reiniciar.
Andressa, eu escrevi para Vivian Ostrovsky, que me respondeu com toda a decalagem horária. Ela me respondeu e gostou muito.
Ah, que bom.
Foi muito bom.
Foi muito bom.
Hi, my love. We're at the bar.
Quando você me explicou que como era apertar o link...
The play is over.
Quando você falou para mim que era apertar o link como pro link
can hear you, my love.
Ficou super fácil.
So just follow me to the first floor.
Ai, ai.
No YouTube foi perfeito.
Foi.
Né?
Perfeito. Não houve problema algum.
Let's go to the floor, to the first floor.
You're gonna go straight to the bar.
Já não está lhe ouvindo, Andressa.
A Paty está entrando.
Estamos resgatando só mais uma ali do Gather, tá vindo.
Tem que fazer um filme. Tem que fazer um filme de uma pessoa que ficou presa.
Ok. Oi, a Dani conseguiu.
E aí?
Que maravilha. Você está aí do bar, tá, Andressa?
Andressa, a Paty está pedindo a ID do meeting.
Tá, vou mandar. Guys who were at Gathertown, just check if your microphone is not open there. Otherwise, you can give feedback. Deborah, that might be the problem, that you had the microphone there and here. But I think we're all good now.
Yeah, I actually left Gathertown.
We're all here, right? Pachi, I'm grabbing the ID for you.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Coloquei no bate-papo, Paty.
É só sair, né, da plataforma. É só dar um sair.
Sim, só fechar, ela sai.
Ok, eu acho que era eu que estava dando aquele erro.
Eu acho que era eu.
Oi, pessoal! Discoteca! A Paty saiu? A Paty caiu?
A Paty caiu, gente.
Não, gente.
Mas daqui a pouco ela volta. Relaxa, gente.
Oi, gente. Posso apresentar o meu companheiro de teatro?
Esse é o tipo de teatro que dá para levar o cachorro, o vinho. Usa.
Foi divertido.
Até sem calça para esse teatro, gente.
Ou até pelado, né? Só fechar a câmera, tá tudo certo.
Tá tudo certo.
Exatamente.
Olha lá, a outra tá com um gatinho.
É.
Só esperar a Paty voltar, gente, pra gente começar oficialmente um papo.
Oh,
all right.
Instagram, tá? Assim.
How are you doing, Mariana?
I'm fine. I'm speaking from São Paulo.
You're in São Paulo now?
Yes, I am.
Again? You were just here.
Yeah, you know, because my husband was missing his family a lot. And he just surprised me with a ticket, telling me that we are going to spend the Christmas here. And then we came, we arrived on Saturday, I think so. And since then, I have been here at my father's house. And still quarantine, but Freddie is making me company.
Oh, that's nice. Freddie is his name?
Yes. And I have Freddie and Frida.
Oh.
Frida is already sleeping under the under my bed because she was a little bit tired. So she wanted a quieter place, so she went down to bed.
Very, very sweet.
Oh, and it was amazing. You know, today's morning, I think I have seen your video with the coffee I think
my
like
God.
4 or 5.
My
4 or
my
5 times.
tentative of lives and stuff. Oh my God. I was so pissed about that. One day I'll tell you more details.
Really?
Yeah, no, it was just yeah.
I have put on my Facebook page. I have.
That's great. Thank you. No, I don't mind. That's awesome. It's just like, you know, when you don't do what you actually wanted to do. But
Live?
okay. It's fine. Yeah. But it's fine.
I've loved it.
Yeah. I think that I managed to wake up with Clarice, and that was good. That's the most important.
You know, and while I was watching the play,
Yeah.
and those reflections that each character was doing, especially that couple, that I don't know if they represented like a soul or something that had more conflict
You mean in the play?
in the play. Yes.
Wait, which couple?
The girl with the white dress.
Yes, Yasmin.
Oh, Yasmin. Yes.
Yasmin. So it was it was you there. Very nice. So I was thinking, so you and your character, you were reflecting, making some reflections about yourself and about the situation and about life and etc. And it was funny because today I had some classes with a criminal lawyer from New York, and I was just studying the techniques to make questions. And these broad questions and reflexive questions, they are so difficult to put in words, you know. It seems so simple because it's like it's some of them are everyday issues, but it's not easy for you to put them in words. And it was so good to see. It was nice to see that Clarice also thought things that we have thought.
Yeah, Patty's here.
Paty chegou.
Yay!
Hey, hi guys. Sorry.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Paty, eu tenho que te falar, I have to say to you, you have a big fan in Canada.
Oh, yes. Tell me more.
You gave a whole interview to this kid. It was awesome.
Nice.
We'll talk more a little bit more, but you fell in love with your character. That was really
No.
All right, vamos lá, parceira. Shall we?
Yeah. Should we do this in English? What's the plan?
What's the matter, boba?
Fabiana é uma faniquinha de coisinha.
A faniquinha de coisinha.
Listen, so we're here with this. Look at this. You know, I don't want to say anything stupid, but we are all women in this room right now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And that is really, really beautiful. Oh, I didn't see you there, Carol. Hi. the little arrows here, like don't let me see it.
No, that's true. Isn't
But I want to thank you for being here. Thank you, Fabi, Yasmin, Gio, Patty, Andressa, myself too. I'll thank myself. Too bad we don't have any of the male characters, or you know, for that matter, the rest of the character, the actors and the performers and Mario, and we wanted to have everybody here, including the crew, because I'll kick off saying that it's something that, you know, Andressa and I had this idea, had the concept, studied and all that. But then when we started bringing this cast and the crew together, everybody was so unbelievably talented, but not just, you just didn't bring just your talent as actors, you know, of like studying scripts and stuff like that, but also your ideas. And then when we brought Linda, you know, into the game, I think that that was even more reinforced, which is something that she spoke today in one of our panels, in the, you know, that she wanted to give freedom to the actors, freedom to the performers to come and fill up the space. Like she talked a lot about the space. And so for me, and I'm sure that Andressa also would agree with me, like this show is your creation. It's our creation. And I want to kick off with this question, because in the craziness that these 5 years have been, and I think that I thought about this question because I never got a chance to ask you, how was it for you? Because at one point I was in the 3rd floor. I had no idea what was going on the 1st floor. Everything's cool. They're doing it. It's great. So I think that this is a chance to hear from you. How was it, you know, to get confronted, the 2 questions, confronted with the material, such as Clarice Lispector's material, right? Some people call it heavy, some people call it dense, some people call it light, some people call it easy, whatever you want it to call. How was it to confront that? And then as actors, as these entities, these bodies that go into the scene, to carry those words of Clarice, to carry this meaning of Clarice, which is huge. So go, the floor is yours. I am super curious. Ooh, who goes first? Don't be shy. Come on.
I'll go. I'll go.
Awesome. Awesome.
I just don't want to jump in front of anybody. You know? I don't know. Lots of things. I think that you started talking about the space, and I want to start with that too, because I think it's very different for us as artists to interact in a site-specific situation, site-specific creation. A play that is in a theater is going to always be different than if it's in the street or a house. So there's all that. So not only you have the dense text and all these things that you're unpacking from Clarice, you also have to unpack the area and the territory and all the scenes, all the nooks and crannies of the space. And I think that that was an amazing experience. I think that we would always, when we would meet each other between floors, and I think, and now I want to throw it to everyone else, when we would meet each other through the floors and we would see each other through rehearsals or even through the play, and we would have like that glimpse of like, oh my God, we're here, this house, all this, like so much. It's been an amazing experience to live and breathe Clarice.
Yeah, I'll pick it up from there. I think, as Pachi said, the areas that we crossed had a lot of the magical sensations that the words of Clarice has. And the thing is that the scenes itself, the words of Clarice already say so much that it's not necessary for us to create a lot around the words. But we were in a huge house, crossing paths and going up and down. And earlier today, Linda talked about the silences that were created in between the scenes. And those were silences that we created para além das palavras da Clarice. For, like more than just the Clarice's words, we took that feeling that those words brought to us, and we took them to those silences. And those silences are a lot about Clarice, even though they don't have a word of hers that are hers. So I think these spaces in between that we were able to create together and were so hard because it was a lot of work to create everyone working together at the same time in all the levels. And we had to be on the third floor after the sign came, and the other one had to go to the second floor. And at the same time, we still had to move with the same vibe and with the same energy and with Clarice's words. So that was like something that everyone, all the actors really embraced, and it really made it magical. To, I guess, I can't say for the audience, but for the actors for sure. But the audience, I guess, lived that with us.
I'm gonna go now because Fabi seems distracted.
I'm sorry.
Do you want to go, Fabi?
No. You go. You can go.
Okay, so I remember that today a lot of people talked about Clarice being a witch, and I don't know, this mystical space that we entered. I felt like I was on a trance most of the time. By the time we were doing Agua Viva, I was like, I'm lost. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. It was so magical, and I don't know if it's so challenging to transport like her words and whatever she wrote into theater. Sometimes it didn't make sense, or it didn't like fit on my mouth whatever I was saying, and especially because we are foreigners and we are from all parts of Brazil, and there was a Portuguese and a Italian also, and to sync that with Clara's house, that was a person that was sleeping there after we did the show. I mean, it was so incredible. We were like spending time on her house, and we, after the show, we would go to the kitchen and the audience was there with us, and she went to sleep, and all that I just think was so magical. It was almost like a Kabbalistic thing, you know, was meant to be. So yeah, it was really incredible. We improvised a lot, and Linda was able to, you know, do all the editings and to make your vision come to life. And yeah, I think whatever Gio and Pachi said, it was so magical and mystical at the same time. It was almost like we were living. I couldn't sleep after, like I didn't sleep most of the shows. I was living with Fabiana. We were living in the same house, and I didn't sleep at all. She knew that I had insomnia after all the shows. I couldn't sleep because we were like in such a spiral of like, I was like, Clarice, can you just stop right now? I want to go to sleep, please. But yeah, it was amazing.
Okay. I think that's me now. Yeah, it's funny how Clarice seems like every day's life, as Mariana mentioned. Like I didn't know that Clarice could like rose these questions between the couple that you mentioned before when you just started talking, and at the same time, it's very hard to put whatever she's saying in a language, either body language or theater language, that people can understand what we're saying, because it looks like too much, because it is too much. And for me, that's what she did. Like she said, well, it's not easy to feel. It's not like I feel sad and happy, cold and warm. There is like a range of feelings between each one of these extremes. And so for me, like it's one thing. It's Veglia. It is yet, because every time I have the text in my mind, it is very hard to put that false abstraction in daily life, because it is false. Everything that looks abstract in Clarice for me is false, because it's not abstract. We that miss the reality of this abstraction, because we are just humans, and she was more like a witch, as Yasmin said. And so it was a present, it was like a challenge every day. More like, it's funny to watch the play now, because I always, every time I watch, I want to do something different than I did yesterday, but I do the same, and I get mad because I want to do it again, as in theater, and it's not, it's recorded and we have to deal with the things that we want to change, or I should have pace there, have time, come on, why are you doing? But that's something else. I mean, for me, it was, as especially like Sveglia, the primarily idea was to perform the Sveglia throughout the house, in each, like it was like Carlotta, like what I ended up doing with Carlotta previous, its main scene. So I think Sveglia needed something more, as Linda said, he's not lecturing. I was not lecturing. I was just having a conversation. I had no answer. She's like, all the speech of Sveglia, she doesn't say that she knows. I mean, she has assumptions. She says something. She suggests, but it's not something. This is the whole truth and the absolute truth, and that is difficult to play these edgy words and edgy thoughts and feelings so daily, like you like drinking wine, you know. It was not so, but it was amazing.
Wonderful. Andressa, do you want to say something about your experience? Because we, at that time, the two of us are wearing 5,000 different hats.
Yeah, I think for me, what was very, very challenging is because we were so involved with the production side of it, right? And it's always a last minute thing to decide and to do and to solve. So not have much time between like switching off the producer and stepping into the role of the actress. That was always challenging, but I think I made this awesome choice of starting blindfolded up in the sea, right? And like not really knowing what I'm going, having like to touch things and trying to guess where I am, and like really throwing myself in the literally in the hands of the audience and asking me to take them around, because that forced me so much to be so present, so in the moment, like knowing where I'm going so I don't fall off the stairs blindfolded. That kind of like helped me to bridge, like from one, from the producer to the actress. So like I think for me the biggest challenge was, like to be wearing those two hats. um but I think, yeah, other than that, we were talking earlier about like this whole thing of being 2 hours in this universe without taking a break. I know some people took breaks. I know some people escaped sometimes. Yeah, like Yasmin did, right? I didn't, and I didn't want to, because once you get into it, I kind of like didn't want to get out and take a break and talk as like a normal person. I felt every time it's like this wave that it keeps coming and it's coming. By the end of the play, you kind of like slap. You just hit
I
the
also think that this break that you're talking about, right?
what?
We say, like, oh, I went to the restroom, or
Oh, baby, you froze.
oh,
Anyway, until we come back, and I think
Yeah.
one of the things that I found out um, during this show specifically, and like starting with the Infinite White Last, is how much I like being like in this closed space with the audience and being in this danger, because you don't know, like some people, like some days you talk to a person and they respond, and the next day they don't. The next day they steal your prop, and the next day they become a roach with you, and the next day they want to mess you up.
It's
So
very similar to the street, right? To do theater in the street.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a controlled space. I think in the streets, and it's even more because it's open air and people, they think they can do whatever.
And the street dog comes and
yeah, but I think I found in this process how much I like this, because that forces me to shut off any little voice that is like thinking about anything else other than the performance. Because if you don't have your ears like really big of what's going on and who's moving where, and someone is sitting where you're supposed to sit, and and that was something that especially in this production 2018, that the space was smaller and we could hear each other much more, learn how to play with whatever is happening on 3 floors and on your floor. That was really, really nice. That was really, really nice, and really like grounded you in the present. And it was like, oh, I'm about to get in the fire, and Yasmin is screaming fire upstairs, and Gio and Ibsen are cracking laughing down there. I can't fight it.
This is hell.
Like in the situation, you can't fight anything. Like if you pretend that someone is not calling fire, you're done.
I think that to add to that, I think it's interesting for us to think of it like it's so immersive. I think this experience is so immersive for us too, because I've always done like durational pieces, performances that you're one-on-one for people, and there's something that is so different when you can't take a bathroom break, where you have to deal with everyone close to you, where you have to deal with the time that you're performing, where you need to, if you're dancing, I mean, I was going up and down the stairs 500 times, we were running around, like there's so much preparation and physical, psychophysical trainings and alterations that we go through that I think is the most powerful kind of, I don't know, this is my kind of performance. I love interactive pieces. And as part of this show that we did is the most beautiful thing of a house that somebody sleeps in after. This energy that stays in the walls. This house of Clarice with these ghosts that are on the walls that are coming back and forth. All these things. And we are living and being immersed in this universe all together in a house. So...
And to get there, we took a lot of time. Like it was a lot of challenges, a lot of layers to get there. We started reading all these different stories with different themes, all together, sitting down. Then we started moving together in a place that was white, that didn't have any character like we had in the house. And then we started the conversations together, and the scenes we were rehearsing the scenes separately. And then once we got to the house,
everything
we were
changed.
Overwhelmed.
Because that's the thing. There was one thing, the thing that you did together, Chuka and Deborah, in placing the sequence and what like was supposed to be performed. The second thing was like the rehearsal at Ponto, which were like, okay, this is going to be on the second floor and I'll be there. It was imagination, like life. Okay, and then I'm going to wake up. 2020 will be beautiful and I'll be a lot. No. And then when we got in the house was 2020, like a lot of things happening. I mean, not in the bad thing, but like, and I think for most of the people, all the things that we had created or like, okay, I'm going to do that and that, but no, we're going to have to change. no, you're gonna have to find another way. And of course, when you do that structurally, it changes the psychological or the internal thing that you did. And it looks like all over again from the beginning. Of course it's not, because all the groundwork that we did before, it was super. That's when you need to have strength, you know. So of course, but at one point I think I felt, okay, now it's new, everything is new. It was not. We had things that we did before, but like
I had
I feel like
I had a little bit of an obsession. So for me, it was extremely magical that we were in that house, because I always wanted a house. Like I wanted to get into the bathroom, like the kitchen. I wanted a sink, you know, and I was very like, I loved the place that we did too, but to me it was another show. It was another beautiful show. For this one, it was like I want to get into this normal house where I can find these characters who's going, you know, they're all inside of Clarice's head and in that heart. So to me, was a wild heart when you open that door, you know, of the house, and you see all this stuff, and it was extremely magic, really, really hard to.
Debs, we're missing you. You're cutting off.
it's cutting off.
Oh, I don't know what's going on. But anyway, I won't talk too much about me because that's not the point. I just wanted to share my experience. I wanted to.
Please do. You also the cast.
What?
You also
no, that's
the
fine.
cast.
That's okay. Let's just move on, because I wanted two parts of this, because I think it's very important. We all had a theme in this play. Some people don't know that each one of us carried a theme on Clarice's that are very recurrent in Clarice's pieces. So you know, I carried the religious part, the God part, let's say. Andressa, freedom, Pachi, childhood, Giovanna, motherhood, Yasmin, madness. That's why it made me think about it, because when you said it took me a while to sleep, and sometimes I didn't sleep. Well, no wonder. and then Fabiana with time, you know, which is really cool. And it made me connect also with what Mariana was saying, you know, that she was so taken by your character, Yasmin, you know, and the couple, Gonzalo and you talking, you know. We can talk a little bit about that also. And then I wanted to just bring it to these beautiful ladies that are watching us. I would like for them to step in and quench your curiosity, and you know, ask and talk. I think it's important.
Very curious how long it took from the idea, let's make this play, the second version, not the 2016. Just because it's in a new house, the house, that it's crazy. I would never imagine that someone lived there. How cleans the house after, but don't worry. You don't have to answer. But how was, you know, the production phase and until the day you guys opened the door, and how much rehearse you guys had, and also three questions, and also if there is a lot of improv.
Should we start with the conception, Andressa?
Yeah, I think it's really hard to separate the two productions if you ask about like how long it took to get to this performance, because it's all part of it. We really started in 2015 with studies and research and reading and discussing and I went to Rio to research. I went to places Clarice was talking about. I went to Recife. I went to see her school. I went to see the places she talks about. That's like all the process that was like already present in 2016, but we just kept developing. It's not that we like threw it away. The concept of being in this immersive environment, of having scenes happening at the same time, of being like a little bit of
Disoriented.
disorienting. And I think that kept the same, but it was really like the development of the script and how we piece it together, the texts that we chose, and and how they
they communicate with each other, how they talk to each other.
Yeah, how they have this conversation.
But also, Andressa, just to pick back a little bit into when we built other shows, when we produce other shows, they were much, I don't want to say much easier, but the material was just very obvious. It's like, oh, boom, there we go. We're talking about love. This is what we want to do. When we were confronted with Clarice, we were like, okay, I don't think that we can study this in 1 year, from 2015 to 2016. So we're like, wait a minute, there's much more in here. There are all the themes and there are all this amazing writing. And how about the short stories? What do we do with this? And then by that time, we already knew the cast, basically. And then because of the talent of the cast, we kept fantasizing, this will be wonderful for, Pachi would be amazing on this, and Yasmin and Giovanna and Ibsen and Gonzalo, like we would, it was all a big part of it, it was not, the inspiration was Clarice, and it's always going to be. But then when you bring all these elements, all the actors and everything, you just, it took a body, and it didn't take like 2016 and then another year. It took us until 2018 to actually say we're going to do that. And now I agree with Fabiana, like when we watch the show and we go like, oh, I could have done that pause there. Oh, I could have jumped this way.
Oh my God.
Why didn't I say that to him? Ooh.
I don't even want to talk about that.
Yeah.
But I'm very happy with the product, this product.
No.
I'm very happy, but
it's natural.
We always find
it's just, that's what we always do, even if it was live. Don't we always leave being like, oh, today, that's
yeah.
And just to answer the second part of your question, so after 2016, so me and Deborah, we did a residency. We went to a beautiful house surrounded with 2 suitcases of books and papers and how do you say cartolina?
Cardboard paper.
Cardboard paper, and then we start
or something like that.
Selecting themes. Okay, so we went like this book, all the talks about this in this book, all the talks about that in this book, and then we kept putting like small pieces of paper, and then it was really a puzzle. And we were like, no, but this text doesn't work for that person, but that person could do, but doesn't have to do anything with that character. But maybe if you put it that way, it works, but maybe not. And then it was like really like putting things together.
And we would have deadlines as well. It's like by this date, we have to finish this biography. And I remember us in this beautiful house, like sitting down, it was like 3:00 in the morning, and we were like finishing the last 10 pages of a biography. Like, we got to finish this today so we can wake up tomorrow and work on this scene or working on this theme or whatever.
Yeah, and then we kept working, and then we did another small residency at Deborah's house, and we invited some people from the cast. I think everybody here came.
7 women, I remember.
Yeah, And then it was great because we already gave them their themes and some texts and some books to look and some short stories. They already gave great ideas, and then we start to pin those ideas. And you know, some ideas of course get lost because you have way more ideas than you can actually put in a show. But we always keep things in mind what they brought, and then we kept working. And then Linda came to New York, and then she stayed. How long was it? Like it was 2 weeks.
She was here 2 weeks.
It felt like more than a month because the work was really, really intense. And then we experimented a lot. We tried a lot of ideas, and then we saw some of them just didn't work. And then we had other ideas. And then Linda went back to France. We kept working, and then she came back, and then was when we like
start to rehearse.
Yeah. And then was like when we finally like end up with this final product, because you know a lot of text was cut and moved from this place to the other place. And then it was like really 11 plays because each performer had their own play, you know. And sometimes when you have a scene with someone else, then that scene it's similar, but then the next scene is something different. So each one was carrying their own script, you know, like completely different from the other. So
yeah, except for the scenes where they overlap, you know, like I have scenes with
exactly, that's what I
couples
said.
and
That's all that scene overlaps, but the rest is
it's all
yeah, and since that even Linda, after like especially when we got to the house, she was like as measured, okay, let's do this. She was like cutting. I mean, individually, I don't know if you know that, but she was like, okay, what do you say? Okay, not, you're gonna say. So it was the last, like, okay, like, you know, when you're gonna travel with a lot of baggage, you're gonna have to leave things behind. It was like that. I cannot take these shoes, I cannot take this jacket, I'm gonna have to light travel.
Yeah,
and to link with that, the improv that you asked, if there is a lot of improv, I think I can talk about that because I improvise a lot. I think, of course, Linda, I think during the time that we're working together, we built some trust with each other. And I remember her saying to me and Gonzalo, I don't want to shape your scene. I want to have a structure, but I want you guys to keep it fresh. And after we got to the house, there was a lot to do there. Like it was a playground. I think there was the initial phase of chaos, but then everything just makes so much sense. Pachi and I think we explored that house. So I entered in every hole, like every little, you know, space that I could fit. I was like trying to go. The house gave us so much material to work with. And also the audience, after the audience arrived, like the first days, there were like less audience members. We were kind of like, we knew that they could potentially follow us during the whole play, but I think I was the first to experience someone following me like the whole time, every step I was taking. And I don't know if you can see that on the streaming, but during the first parts of the show, I run up and down to the first to the third floor 3 times. And he was like, you know, a man, and he was like running with me. And so that all changes your performance. You can't ignore that, you know. A lot of conversation.
This is the second time he comes to see the streaming.
Yeah, he came today.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
he was here today. He was here today.
He's definitely our number one fan.
7 times he saw it.
7 times already, right?
That's awesome.
And that's awesome. And he came back eventually, and he was following other people.
He followed different people, different times. Yes.
That's what is amazing about this kind of play, because every time you're gonna get something different. You know, because there are so many possibilities of combination that you can do, and you're gonna have different. And of course, as you say, the audience changed, the mood changed something. And there's something I like about what Linda said, you know, keep it fresh, because eventually in the theater is so vivid that you can fall, then embrace your fall, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There were
And
certain
also
things
there was
that I'm sorry, Yasmin. I just want to say this. Like there were certain things that people spoke to me, not to me, but like, you know, oh, I saw you play. I saw the play. It's so beautiful. And I heard a few words that were, they were amazed about the ritual that we had. It's a ritual. The concentration of the cast throughout. It was, they could feel it. The commitment and also the psychology of it. So I wanted to share that with
Can
you.
I add a point to that, Deborah?
Please, please.
I think that also we need to highlight, especially, I think I can highlight that because I am a total outsider. I'm not used with all the technologies and all the way of organizing these things. But I felt a completely synchronicity between everyone, every character. I was able to feel and to understand the sequences and the relationship between every character. So the synchronicity was very, very nice, very, very good.
Thank you.
Congratulations, girls.
Thank
You were
you.
amazing.
It's funny you say about the synchronicity, because the only thing we had was the time and the scene we need to do in between those two signs, right? The beginning and the end. And so everything in between was improvised, was part of where we we're going, how we were moving, who we were seeing and connecting. So the text was set, the beginning, the end, and everything else was just there for us to recognize. And the synchronicity was part of how we were moving around the house because we needed to follow this path at the same time.
Yeah, this
So it demanded a lot
know,
of focus.
I know that this Veglia, of course, I should start. I have some range to start to speak, but I could not speak to people. There was one day there was no one around me, so like I could not wait for someone to be there, to be my audience. So I had to start by myself, pretend that I was talking to myself, and then eventually, hopefully, someone would. Okay, there is a crazy lady with the blue robe there. I'm gonna see what she's talking about, and then the scene would engage because it had some time. It had to happen. So like impro was like the main
and improvising by ourselves too. I think I just want to add that in there because I know like we all had moments where we're in between scenes and we had to change, but we're doing something. And then sometimes you're just by yourself in the bathroom. It just happens that your scene is by yourself in the bathroom. Nobody's there. And you have so like, it's what we were talking about, like having it a playground, you know, in a way the house also evokes so much that we can, if we improvise in those moments too.
You know, when you tell about building the scene by yourself, it reminds me a part that Yasmin told, and I don't know if I pick it right. Please correct me if I do it wrong. But when you say about building cathedrals, that you want to build cathedrals and you want to get inside of them, but you don't know how to do this, etc. And it seems that each one of you made your own cathedral, you know, your own situation.
Yeah.
For example, Andressa was so inspired looking to one of her partners in the moment that I could pick. I was literally trying to find my path since the beginning because I also lost my path through the technology. Andressa helped me a lot. But even though I had the situations, I was able to follow your leadings, you know, and to find your cathedrals, and it was very interesting.
I was thinking also about the audience members because sometimes, you know, in New York you have characters walking, living characters walking on the street, and sometimes they would show up at the play, and they were totally part of it. And you know, you have to embrace that also. I was saying on the streaming how interesting it is to see like people, you know, they could actually look at each other. I never thought about that. You know, they could just look at each other, and it's something that we had to acknowledge also. How I was doing a scene on the sauna, and there was a guy there holding a bunny, and I was like, oh my God. And I'm gonna talk about like suiciding, and you know, I'm gonna try to kill myself, and he's like holding his bunny, and what am I gonna do? It's so interesting. So everything, you know, it changed a lot. It yeah. And
I'm sorry.
they Sleep No More, sorry, they actually like put masks on everyone, so they couldn't show expression. And on this show there was nothing like that. You know, we were there and they were there and they were them, and we had to deal with that, and it was so amazing.
Yeah. Where was it shooted? Where was this house?
East side, 25th Street between 3rd and Lexington.
And
Lexington?
Second.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I think second.
No, you are right.
What is the street?
25th. Very hard to say
25th.
25th. Yeah.
25th between Lexington and 3rd.
No, the 3rd and 2nd. It's
3rd and
more
2nd.
towards, yeah.
It's the studio of a photographer.
It's like the classic townhouse that you would imagine for a New York
Yeah,
townhouse.
it's amazing that you guys got that.
That's thanks to Giovanna.
That's someone that, you know, there was like, okay.
That's thanks to Giovanna, because we were like right after the first production, and I was like, oh, we need a house, and she's like, I
think I know a place.
Yeah, I think I know a place, and I was like, what?
Can you tell that story?
Oh, when she showed me the pictures, I was like, oh my God. So tell us a little bit.
Let her tell the story, how she found that, because it's great.
No, I actually went there like 2 years before we did the show, 2 or 3 years. The lady I was working, I used to work at a event space that Deborah owned. And this lady was walking on the street. She stopped on the space to get to know the space and everything. She started talking. And she said that she had an event space as well. There was a house, someone was living there, but there was also, they were opening for events. And she said, come by, stop by and take a look. I just wanted to see how it is, and maybe we can talk more and we can help each other. I was like, sure, I'm not doing a lot, so let's do it. So I went there, I stopped the house to visit, and I entered and I was kind of in shock because it is an incredible house. It has art everywhere. And I remember because Deborah and Andrea, so they took a lot of the art, like the big things that were
in the way,
around
right?
us, out of the area so we could walk around. But when you come in just as a regular house, it had art all over the walls, like very little empty wall space.
Yeah, exactly.
Very empty, very little empty, like walking space as well. So it was very, very impressive.
You know what I love about it, Gio, is, and I think that everybody can attest with that, and that we also, when you go there in a regular day, if you go and you knock at, you know, at this gallery or this house, the lady, Clara, is part of the house. Like, she is adorable. She would sit down with you and she gets the little teacups with the little teapot. It's like, where am I? Alice in Wonderland? What is this? Go ahead. You were saying, Gio.
No, but that was it. And then I went there. We actually exchanged our emails and we talked a little bit. And then we stopped our contact. And then 2 years later, Deborah started talking about trying to find a house. And I think she actually talked a few times. Mm-hmm. And it took me some time to actually think, oh, I actually think I know a place that it sounds like it doesn't exist, but it actually does.
Yeah.
So that was it. That's the story.
Beautiful, beautiful place.
Very-
We are getting into our time, Andressa. What time are we? I'm sorry, I'm like cross-eyed already, Andressa.
Well,
Oh,
this is
you're
the thing we
frozen for
call.
me.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, no, I'm like my computer is frozen. As long as it's still listening, it's fine. But we didn't set up like a cutoff time because
Awesome.
internally we call
Beautiful.
this
Oh, this is
discoteca.
great. This is great. No, this is great. I'm sorry. I'm like a time
it's
is
up
like
to,
not
I
existent
was like
right
about
now.
to send a message. It's like my computer froze.
This is beautiful. No,
This is the time to freeze.
yeah, I
The
didn't
end of the
want to
day.
pass the time, respect the time and all that. So I would love to hear like more questions or anything, because I have a lot of questions, because I love to get into the Clarice's themes and how you handle, how you like it, how you don't. But I also wanted to make sure that, you know, our audience can ask questions about this, the experience that you had, and if you have any questions for the cast anymore.
I thought I've been talking a lot. I'm sorry, I've talked so much because I'm so fascinated. It's like fascinating, you know. And I think even though it is different than being the real house myself, like I saw, there was something about this platform that you guys found that it reminds me a little bit when you walk like the little Atari days, you know, like, you know. But it's so cool because then when you in a room, you the fact that you record and there was people there, and even when someone was talking, like, you know, Yasmin, like the expressions, like there was a moment that the scene was super serious, and I was like, and then I look and there was a guy laughing but kind of nervous laugh, and I was like, why he's laughing? And I'm sure I would have the same idea, you know, thought in my head if I was there, like, what this guy's laughing. So I was totally immersed. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm gonna go upstairs. And then I realized I didn't go to the first floor. I had to, you know, so I was, you know, although I was not, I wasn't there. I'm here in my apartment. I was there, so I thought this. Then I want to see some places. I was like, can I go there? Can I go? So I thought it was really cool for the moment we have right now. That is crazy. I thought you couldn't find better platform.
Yeah,
I must
but
agree with Clarissa. I totally agree with her, because also we had that situation of uh, I knew that I had a lack of time, that I have a certain period of time that I need to calculate, to explore everything, and we want to see things, and we want to see, and at the same time the audience that was there when it was shooted became a character. They became a character also, and it was very interesting. You know, I felt like I was walking around and exploring around, and some were professional characters, you know, very the actors really, and the other ones they were being characters by being themselves. It was funny.
Totally, totally. How many people do you guys have in the crew? What is the total? Because there's so many people, and sometimes also, as you say, Mariana, I didn't know if it was actors or it's like this person, and then like, no, 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 it's part of the public, and then sometimes I go, oh no, it's an actress. You know?
I
So
think it would vary from day to day in terms of the, not vary, but I say that because we had a lot of what we called angels, which are some people that would stay in the floors watching what the audience is doing. So they were like, you know, little chameleons in there. They look like audience, but they were not. So those people saw like the play 11 times, 25 times. Um, but in total, we had 11 actors. In total, like the whole, between performers and crew, we were 25 people, if I'm not wrong. And then we would have, you know, box office, and then you know, 3 people that will work on that day, 1 on each floor. It would really depend. But around that, right, Andressa? Andressa's completely frozen.
Yeah, I need to count.
Oh, very, very nice.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, Shan is in the house. Hi, Shan.
Hello.
How are you?
All right. I've been watching on YouTube actually. I just switched to Zoom.
Can you
lindo.
guys hear me? I can
hear you now, Chuca.
You are the Você é o bendito fruto entre as mulheres hoje.
Pois é, percebi. Falei, ué, realmente só tem mulher mesmo.
Chegou na convenção das bruxas.
Não, mas você, nossa, Shan, cada vez que você aperta o seu botãozinho, eu falo assim, ai meu Deus, agora que delícia.
Membro honorário. Tudo bem.
Sempre, sempre, sempre bom.
Eu queria fazer, sorry, I would like to make another question for you girls that have acted there. How do you detach from the character? Because they are like yes, how do you live the character behind you, you know? How do you disconnect?
Oh, it takes me 2 hours to detach.
Because as it is a flux.
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
I don't know if these detachment. I mean, that's a very big and profound question.
Thank you. That's very profound. We can go.
That's very profound because even like, do we? Have you ever detached? I mean, of course it is, but it's not like as.
Not like taking your
okay, no, now I'm not a longer, or I'm not that good actress and I'm always myself, and that's one of my fear, but we're not gonna go into that now. But like, honestly, like, so for me, for what I did at the play, it was not like that hard to, oh, now I feel, because neither is Veglia or Carlotta waiting too much that I want them to be detached. On the contrary, I was more like, hey, come with me. Let's sleep with me today. Yes, stay with me. Let's have breakfast. Let's have a shower together so I can know more you, and then we can be more of a character together. For me, in this piece, in this play, of course, I was doing 2 things that were more close of my personality or my talent, I don't know, but like it wasn't like that. The only thing that I felt sometimes the need to detach is like the obsession of thinking of the character all the time. What am I gonna do? So at one point I was like, okay, I'm gonna do at the moment, you know, I'm gonna cross the bridge whenever the bridge comes. I'm gonna be the character wherever the character come across me. It was more like that rather than, oh, like I need to get rid of Sveglia, or not get rid, because it's a very strong expression, but like I'm gonna detach of Sveglia or Carlotta.
For me, it was like it takes for me 2 hours to like not be in that zone, basically, because I agree with Fabiana, like you don't detach. It's not like I'm taking a coat off and then, you know, but for me, it takes time for you to get out of that that frame of mind, you know, that world. I usually don't like to talk too much after or whatever. It's just like, you know, and you're tired too, because it's a lot of energy, like Giovanna was saying, it's a lot of concentration to be going, you know, thinking about, now I have to go upstairs, and now you have to still concentrate and focus and where are my shoes? Oh no, I don't wear shoes in this scene. I go in this way and still be feeling, you know. So for me, it takes a while to just get out, and then, you know, but
yeah, I was thinking.
I think of poor Clara,
right? That she was asleep. I think Paty was saying, like, it's hard to sleep after. It's like so much energy.
Mm.
In a place like that, going up and down, it's like doing a hardcore gym just before bed. How do you do that? You need
Yeah.
the time to like your body inside need to like.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we used to
I
have the
think
discotheque
Deborah,
after, so it
yeah.
was hard.
And
I
those
think
scenes,
like it's
I,
really
I was gonna say that the discoteca that we were playing here, but many times we stayed in the house after the show, just like talking and having a good time, and we could start calling it discoteca, and that sounds funny, but it's really something that helps you kind of like bridge back to the real
mm-hmm.
world before you
Yeah.
take the subway, because it's very odd just to get off the show and go to the streets and take the subway. It was always really kind of like, what is this? It's very confusing. So having this
Mm-hmm.
time with the cast, people are coming out of this world with you, was always easy. It was not easy for Clara though, because sometimes she wanted to sleep and be within the house.
I think that the same way that we have a preparation for before the play, as a dancer, I stretch, we do the voice, the whole thing. We have a preparation for after. And if that's a little discotheque and like decompressing and talking a little bit, sometimes, yes, it takes that because you get so into the playground of the space and the scenes and all the text is so much that, yes, I'm with Deborah, like 2 hours kind of situation is not turning yourself off because your characters are always part of yourself. So there's no, but there is a preparation because it's a tool. So you just prepare yourself the same way you stretch before, you stretch after. So, I think that we were an amazing group of people that would do this stretch before together and after. And we would stay with each other. And there were moments, especially when it started to get cold too, here in New York, it's cold, it gets cold. So like having to leave that place, that magical, beautiful place, we had to like be with each other and like comfort each other to like go back to our homes after too.
yeah, because those scenes, they like everyone feels so touched, but they also happen to our body, right? The body also feels everything, goes with it. Otherwise, we cannot focus and work through the entire scenes. I had two different moments to try to get out of it because the last scene was so heavy, coming out the stairs and crossing everyone. By the time I because I would go around and go up the stairs to go down again to the final scene of everyone singing together. So every time I got to that second floor, I needed to deconstruct everything that just happened. So I would like move my face, clean my body. It was really like a necessary cleanse. Is that correct? I don't even know.
Well, I understood.
Ritual.
A ritual of taking that creature Macabea with that end that is so hurtful should just go and sing and be with my family at the end.
I don't know. I feel like I was the on the team that couldn't sleep. The discotheque helped me a lot. It was like physically challenging for me also. I'm not a dancer as Pachi, but it required a lot of physical attention for me. And I think also it's important to say that every actor comes from a background of training, and we most all did not come from the same. And each of us had whatever we need to do to get out of that. But I'm extremely obsessed, and it's a problem that I have, and I was obsessed during the whole run. I would have to go to work, in the morning, but I was still obsessed and thinking about it the whole time until like after we ended.
Because Clarice has this thing about being like how I can say, a flow of conscience. This is very difficult because sometimes
Yes.
she finds something that that matches with something that is bothering us, and then you keep remembering it. So for example, you've told about Macabea. For after reading that book,
The
Hora
Hour
da
of the Star.
Estrela, the Hour of the Star. Yes. So after reading the Hour of the Star, it took me a while to have a chocolate in the same way as I used to did, you know.
Or hot dogs.
Yes, you know. I said, come on. I'm not Macabea. Thanks God I don't have her life, but she's there yet, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the thing about Clarice, that she's so wild wild and wide in terms of all the people that she can reach, all the people that she can write about it. Like, even when you say, I'm not Macabea, you are Macabea too. We can be Macabea too. Maybe not like 24/7, but like 10 minutes of Macabea in a certain circumstance. And I think that's her, she writes for everyone. It's like a self-service of humanity. You know, it's like a restaurant that you go in, okay, I can have that. I can be, and we are these, but most of people, we hide these and we camouflage and we don't, but she used to expose herself in her writing. I mean, just opinion.
I think it's very, very, very right. Like, do you think that she has done that because she had to adapt to different countries and to different areas during her life? So she had to wear different hats
my
during her
humble
life?
opinion is like if Clarice spent her whole life in Pavão, in any place,
my city.
That's in her city, she would still feel whatever she felt. I don't know if she had, like, for me, like, it's like what you said for me makes sense. Like the fact that she went from city to city, from country and cultures. Of course, I think that maybe boosted. It's like, okay, it's too much. Like, it's the whole world. Like she's seen the whole world, like much more than we. But I think she would be whatever she was, whatever she would be, or born. It doesn't matter. She would be like, she would be Clarice. She would find a way to be herself
and to create Macabea and to
even if we didn't
with
know
chocolate for a long time.
I want to add to that. I totally agree with Fabiana, but also because she couldn't do it. She couldn't do the diplomat wife.
She couldn't not to do what she was.
She could not do it. She was what she was, and anywhere, and the pressure, you know, she couldn't do it. It got into like 15, 16 years being, you know, the wife of the diplomat, and she's like, no, I can't. So let me go and keep creating my characters, keep writing, because she never stopped writing, unless when she was painting or whatever. But yeah.
I think she says, I don't know if it's a quote, because like we never know nowadays who said what, right? To be or not to be, Clarice. It's very confusing. But I believe she has a quote like, I write, it's not because she wants, it's just because she needs to.
Yeah.
And the need of writing, and I'm not like as profound as Chuka and Deb had to be to talk about Clarice's work. But for me, I feel like it's like she had no option. It's not something, oh, I'm going to write something here just because to post on Facebook. No, she had to write.
Yeah.
She had to be as we have to breathe. And
Totally.
But we forgot to be. And we forget. And that's what we do. We forget to be. We just think to breathe is enough to be.
And it was so big on her. It was so much more than her physical body that she was not comfortable anywhere. Being the wife of a diplomat, or being in a newspaper, or being home, she was always like not feeling inside her body. She was always not so comfortable. So she needed something else. that was writing.
And it's funny because for us, I mean, whoever likes to read, sometimes we like miserable, and you read a statement, and it's like Happy New Year. It's like, okay, I'm safe now. It's okay. I don't have to, it's okay. I'm fine. It's just like this. But like this represents the fucking world. And and she does that as like easy. I mean, not easy, because we know that like her life was not easy, but she does that like talented, like
It's so hard to be easy.
And simple.
So hard to be simple.
Yeah.
How is that quote of hers that make no mistake, I only achieve simplicity with great effort?
Yeah. And for me, like if you have to kill me, you have to ask me what my favorite food, what my favorite move, and what my favorite Clarice quote, because I don't have, I mean, it's very hard. But one of my favorite is I have like, I don't know how to say, like she has like the courage to do like big things, and she has like little fears, you know, that doesn't match. If you put it in a scale, it doesn't match. Like she would like, there is something specific in Portuguese about this quote, you probably know. Tem coragens incríveis e medos bobos.
Medos bobos e coragens absurdas.
Isso, é isso. Every time I read that, I say it's me, and it's not you. It's everyone. And it's, yeah, like I moved to New York, and then I'm afraid of do a download, you know. Yeah, it's true. It's
yeah.
Because I'm gonna press the wrong button, and then I'm gonna call Chuka or Yasmin, say, oh, Jill, I fucked up.
Me mudei para Nova York e tenho medo de baixar de fazer o update of my phone. What's
isso. And he threatens you. It's like your iPhone will be updated, and it's okay, it will be. It's exactly.
What does this mean? Like, I'm going to
New York?
No, the iPhone.
For me, it's like
no. It's just funny because it's like that. The iPhone, that such small and controllable thing, is saying to us that they are gonna do something, and you're going to need to deal with that.
Yeah.
And it's so scary, but suddenly you had the courage to move from to a normal city with a huge number of characters itself, that has a very, very fast pace, but you're still
afraid. And she does
your
and
little things.
And she does, and she says these things like she summarize, you know, like feelings that you spend like a week feeling, and then she says a statement, and then
Andressa is frozen completely.
Yeah, my computer is totally frozen. I can only hear the answers, not the questions. So I'm watching the live on YouTube on my phone.
Oh my God! But we can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
No, it's crazy that it's still working because my computer, like, it's totally frozen. Even like the wheel, it stopped. But I'm enjoying the answers, and I'm trying to guess what the question was.
That's awesome.
Sorry, it's noisy. I cannot even mute myself. And if you mute me, I won't be able to unmute.
What did you say, Ken?
I said maybe you need to upgrade the version. Talk about
No, it's just that I think that, correct me if I'm wrong, Andressa, but Andressa was doing downloads of the stuff that we did the whole day today, and
See, don't do download. It's very
it's a bunch of like technical stuff that she's been dealing with. So I'm actually glad, Andressa, that this happens now at the very end, you know, because I would hate.
I just don't know how I'm gonna turn it off. It's gonna be live forever.
It's gonna be haunting for the whole night.
Discoteca for the whole night.
Misericórdia.
No, even the clock stopped.
Oh my God.
It's gonna be like the house whenever we had to pick up something on the third floor.
Stop, Sveglia. For what? I love that.
To the time, to the hour, to the instant.
The time, to the hour, to the instant. Any more questions? Or thoughts, reflections?
We're running out of battery.
We're running out of battery, that's true.
That's a metaphor statement or a real one?
A real one.
Well, the computers are whole day, but I'm running out of battery.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
I woke up at 3 a.m, so I usually like I wake up 4, 3 o'clock depending. I'm fine, but I haven't been. I usually go to bed a little earlier, and that didn't happen. So
you were texting me at 2:30, Deborah.
Exactly.
It's funny because Andressa is talking and she's.
And it's the best thing, guys, because I'm like, as I'm waking up, Andressa's going to bed. So we literally just pick up the shifts of each other. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, hi, hey, great, honey. It's my turn.
Leave that last touch base. Like, good, okay.
No, but
See you in the next one.
I think today was an exception because we had so much to do yesterday. So usually I go to bed earlier. I can wake up early. It's fine. But like today was like, oh my God, what? 2 hours sleep? 3? I cannot do this. But in any case,
and I usually don't go up to 4:30 a.m. You know, it's just not always.
Just the way we are wired.
But so guys, it was an amazing experience today.
Okay, people, shall we call it a night?
Okay, wait a second, Andressa, because Mariana is making a statement you cannot hear.
Oh, I can't hear. Sorry.
She's speaking. I'll let you know when she's done. Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay, I try to listen here on
in Instagram
on the live.
Okay.
And no, it's just because it's a very, 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 very nice and inspiring experience. I'm gonna be very inspired tomorrow. That here in Brazil has already started. It's already 12:30 midnight. So thank you. The platform that you have chosen was very, very nice. Andressa, you were incredible with the assistance. Thank you very much. She called me from New York, helping me to figure out how to get inside. And guys, you were amazing on your papers. Thank you.
It was an amazing day.
Thank
you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching the show.
Yes.
Thank you.
She finished talking, Andressa. Do you want to say anything?
Thanks, everyone. Yeah, I was listening. It has a delay, but I can listen. So thanks everyone who came, who stayed with us, everyone who participated. Deborah, we did it.
We did it.
Thank you for the session. It's a great session.
Shen says thank you, Andressa.
Yes, in Cachorreis.
Yeah, I thought for me it was very interesting to hear perspective.
Andressa, just 1 second.
Oh, sorry. No, I just for me it was very interesting to hear perspective from the performance perspective. Yeah, because again, being immersive experience is different from regular theater too, so it was very interesting.
Thank you, Shen. Shen says that it was very nice to see the perspective of the performance perspective, Andressa.
Cool, nice.
She says great. Thank you. And I want to say thank you to you ladies that came here. Ibsen says hello. He couldn't be here. just so you know, because he sent a message and asked me to tell you. And I think we need to do this again, to be honest, you know, to talk a little bit more about this process, because I still want to talk about the themes that we chose for this and how you brilliantly carried throughout those 2 hours. Did such a beautiful research.
Maybe we
So,
should do it after the last performance or something like
right?
that.
Maybe we could do that. Melissa, what do you think?
And maybe, Deborah, we can pull up the Tahira discotheque.
Oh, my dream for today was to have Tahira, the DJ. I wanted to have him spinning for us, but we'll see. We'll get there. Maybe that's a good idea, Yasmin, to do something like that, because there's so much to talk about. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Mariana.
It was a beautiful day.
Yeah.
So grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you for inviting us and opening
you.
the space for us to share what we
Absolutely.
lived through
Cheers.
all the months of creation and then performances.
Now I hope we can talk more, Gio, because I really I always had that in my head, like, we never really sat down to talk, you know what I mean, for all of us. I mean, I talked to Andressa and because we closed.
Yeah, maybe we should do that.
But it's so good to hear.
And congratulations on the event. It was insane.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you hear that, Andressa? You were there? I think
she's like, wait.
Espera.
Oh, she said espera? Okay.
No,
it's a beautiful word, huh? Espera.
Bye, Carolina. Carolina is saying bye.
Bye, girls.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, Clarissa. Bye,
Bye.
Mariana.
Bye, Clarissa,
Bye,
Mariana. Bye,
everyone.
Bye, Gio.
So
Bye,
great seeing you all.
Tati. Bye.
Quem desliga primeiro? Você desliga.
Desliga você
gente, eu vou ter
primeiro.
que ajudar
Você primeiro.
Não, desliga você.
Eu tenho que
você
ajudar minha
primeiro.
Eu vou ter que ajudar minha parceira, que ela tá grudada, cara, na tela, tadinha. Se ela não conseguir.
E a gente tá
Tudo
live,
bem, mas só
Ela
que
tá
só
ainda
sobrou
lá
a
em
gente
cima, dá pra
agora
ver.
nesse momento. Amo vocês.
Oh,
amo vocês, também tô morrendo de saudade.
Saudades.
Peraí,
Vamos tirar um print screen aqui, peraí. Sorri todo mundo,
Faz um
cadê a Andressa?
Faz coraçãozinho de novo, faz coraçãozinho de novo. Vai, faz coraçãozinho. Vai, Paty. Ah! Cara, e a Andressa frisada ali, assim, ó.
Ela tá lá em cima, o
Sorri
link.
todo mundo aí. A Andressa não vai aparecer, né? 1, 2, 3 e...
Sorriso. Peraí. Vamos lá, Dio, tira a foto aí.
A Andressa tá tentando tirar a gente do YouTube, porque a gente tá
Sorri aí,
live.
gente. 1, 2, 3 e... A Andressa apareceu. 1, 2, 3 e...
Apareceu? Não.
A gente tá que nem o Caverna do
sei,
Dragão no YouTube.
mas ele tá na
gente,
live.
eu acho que a gente ainda tá live.
A gente
Então,
tá live.
a gente vai ser que nem Caverna do Dragão, não vai
É
sair
mesmo,
nunca mais.
gente. A gente tá live.
A gente
Eu tô aqui tentando falar isso. Eu tô tentando
Mestre dos
Alguém vai usar
Magos,
esse
Mestre dos
podcast
Magos
de
é
20
Clarice,
anos.
O
gente.
amor é igual, independente de estar live ou não.
Mestre dos Magos é Clarice, entendeu? Aí a gente assim no YouTube, Clarice, pra onde a gente sai? Aí Clarice, um cigarro.
Espera lá.
Aí tira uma barata da cartola. Você
Ou do bolso.
se perder, it's also away. Aí ela vai falar os idiomas, entendeu?
Gente, eu vou. Andressa,
você consegue tirar a gente do.
Eu vou tentar. Bem, eu acho
Menina, tá travado aqui. Eu não consigo fazer nada. Eu não aperto nada acontece.
Giovana, você é co-host. Você consegue.
O que eu posso fazer? Mas eu não consigo parar o YouTube, né? Eu tenho que parar aqui.
Derruba o YouTube, Gil. Derruba o YouTube agora.
Hacker.
Agora.
E aí? Não, eu não posso fazer isso.
Nossa, que estranho. Andressa, acho que tem a ver com o Gather?
Eu acho que tem a ver com que o computador...
Eu acho que tem a ver com a cara da Clarice, que tá atrás da Débora, assim, ó, com a cara péssima.
Ela tá olhando para baixo pra gente.
Ela tá assim, ó.
Como é que eu vou fazer? Eu vou fazer um logout aqui do Gather, ok?
Eu acho que tem todo mundo sair ao mesmo tempo.
Tá, eu também acho. Assim, a gente faz uma
Eu
finalização
não tenho a
tipo
possibilidade,
explode.
a opção de terminar o meeting, de close the
Não, mas
meeting.
a gente aqui, eu vou livre, então, aqui.
Não, pera, a gente vai todo mundo
você não
junto?
tem,
Aqui só sai
Gui, ó.
todo mundo
É.
junto.
É
Você
igual
não
a
tem a
crônica do Veríssimo.
possibilidade
Ninguém
de...
sai, ninguém sai.
Ninguém
Você
sai.
conhece
Eu
essa
ponho
crônica do poker?
Ninguém sai, ninguém sai.
Estranho,
Vamos ver
que
essa
coisa
crônica.
estranha. Você não tem um botãozinho
Vídeo
vermelho aí
settings.
que está escrito leave, não?
Um botãozinho vermelho.
É que nem a vida.
Botãozinho vermelho.
Botãozinho
tá escrito
vermelho.
leave, não?
O botãozinho de sair tá aqui, mas quando você é host, você pode colocar terminar o meeting, né? A gente tá falando isso,
sim,
gente, tá
não,
ao vivo.
Ô, gente, se tirar da tomada...
Tô me
mas eu
ensinando a
também, é
mexer
por isso
no
que eu
Zoom
tava,
ao mesmo
também
tempo.
não tenho como.
Terminar o meeting para todo mundo, mas aqui eu só posso sair. Minha opção é só sair mesmo. Vamos todo mundo sair.
I'm a host as well,
Conta
right?
até 10?
Conta até 10.
Peraí.
Débora é co-host.
So I'm gonna try, okay?
Peraí, ainda. Eu vou botar
I love you. Amor pra
Thank
você.
you, Dad.
Lindas,
Bye,
talentosas.
everyone. Boa noite.
Bom final de semana para todos.
Bom fim de semana, bom Natal, bom Ano Novo.
Boa noite, Clarice.
Vou forçar a coisa aqui para fechar, hein, gente?
Tá bom.
Tá bom.
Um beijo.
Um beijo.
Não foi. Eu acho que é contar até 3 isso aí. 1, 2, 3?
1, 2, 3. Tchau, gente.
1, 2, 3.
Eu vou apertar. Tchau.
Tchau.